From LALATE News Headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning on Mornings LALATE, live from Santa Monica, California, with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In this recording with incredible great news, we'll be going over that monthly stimulus check and why the Democrats are likely to give you more months of checks. We'll have breaking news you're hearing for the first time on this recording about those MSCs, what Janet Yellen said this morning as well about the month of September. Then we cut to the recon. Done deal signed, sealed. And the Democrats are meeting this week and going over the final steps to get the tow hitch with its tow truck over the finish line. OMG, can you smell the excitement? Then we cut to the big exciting news as the world exclusive delivered only on this channel with the big offer for those monthly stimulus checks, MSCs. And then you're going to learn in this video how you yourself, with your pen and paper, can get thousands, tens of thousands of dollars on the third stimulus, and meet one viewer who got $80,000 and then turned around and his family got $100,000 5 days later. The deliciousness, the toast, the butter, and everything is baking and buttering and toasting, and we're just missing some bacon. I mean, can we get some bacon in here? This is Mornings LALATE. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful day. You made it to the middle of the week. And guess what? It is breezy and sunny along the beach here in beautiful Santa Monica, California. So jump in the live chat and tell me where you're tuning in from and how the weather is. In this fourth stimulus check update of 2021, there's so much breaking news happening just today. OMG. We'll go over those monthly stimulus checks and what Janet Yellen's talking about in the month of September. We'll compare those comments to Ron Klain, who's the president's chief of staff, comments over the weekend. It's deliciousness. Then we cut to the recon. Done deal signed, sealed. So when does that mean we're seeing the provisions? Guess what? They're meeting this week, and they were meeting last weekend. OMG. Then we cut to that MSC and why the number one DC guy wants you to have those MSCs. We'll be cutting to fifth stimulus, which raise your benefits up of SSI and SSDI. And then we'll be cutting to the big money you can get this week, $80,000. I think that sounds like a good number. $80,000 in your bank account. And this is LA, America's only 24 hours a day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America, live in the morning, taped in the afternoons. Coming up next is Mornings Crypto at 10 o'clock, and by then, Solana will be $1,000. I mean, it goes, Mornings Crypto, I mean, Solana just goes up $10 every time I say deliciousness. And then 11 o'clock, I'm back with you at noontime, which is at 11 o'clock. I know that's confusing. It's at 11 o'clock, even though the show's called noontime. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 3,000 likes. And consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. The link is under the video. Meantime, if you haven't signed up for those LA alerts, you need to do so. What are you doing? They are totally free. It's at news.la.com. Put your name and email address in there, and then you're ready to rock and roll. Watch for that confirmation email, and you get alerts wherever you are. Wherever you are, whether you have your shirt off or your shirt on. And let's cut to the deliciousness of those monthly stimulus checks, House versus Senate, Senate versus House. Democrats want you to have a monthly stimulus check. Warren, Wyden, and Sanders want you to have a monthly stimulus check, they say in a letter to the president. Then we have AOC and Omar calling for $2,000 a month. We have the House bill, $1,000 a month, and we have the House Ways and Means calling for a monthly stimulus check, the American petition, and more. But the one that has captivated a country across the continent, from the west coast of the shores of Santa Monica to the east coast of New England, has been that House bill, Pandemic Plus 1 year, which would amount to at least $13,000, $1,000 a month after the first month. I think you have an opinion. Vote House or Senate, and tell me where you're tuning in from. and how the weather is this beautiful morning to LA. Who gets this forced stimulus check? You do. Democrats represent that if you got a third, you get a forced stimulus check. Single individual, 75,000 less. Democrats represent you get a forced stimulus check. Married couple, 150,000 less. You get one as well. Double it. Democrats represent. Family of four, Democrats represent. You get it. Quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, you get a forced stimulus check as well. The forced stimulus check is not income. It's not taxable. It's not a waivable check. And if you see a check kiss you on two cheeks on the beach, it's a Italian check. That's why it's kissing you on two cheeks. In the third part of this video, you'll have the world exclusive from the #1 guy on the MSC. He says he's giving it to you. OMG. But first, let's do some fake fact Frida analysis. Have you met Frida? She is one of our new cast members on the show. She is faux fact or freedom of speech Frida. I call her Freedom Frida. She says that freedom of speech entitles her to say faux facts. And guess what her favorite new faux facts are today? Number one, faux fact number one. All the Democrats are out of town. They're not back to September. Untrue. Untrue, faux fact. In fact, Ron Wyden, Ron Klain, Bernie, and Chuck all confirms they've been in town all since last week, all weekend long, and all this week. What are they doing? They're finalizing the recon as substantive. They're meeting 4 to 5 times a day, going over the deal provisions. I'll explain that in a second. Faux fact number two, that no one's talking about stimulus checks. Nope, just Frida's family is not talking about. The Republicans are not talking about stimulus checks because they don't want to give you one, and they're not part of the equation. It's just the Democrats. Faux fact number three, that the Democrats are dragging their feet, that they're not getting this done. Untrue. You're going to hear the breaking news from Janet Yellen in the third part of this video, that September is a very, very big month. It is a very busy month. There's a lot of things happening. Even Ron Wyden confirmed that last week. And faux fact number four, which is that this is a long way away. No, they're just doing the recon substance now. The tow hitch could pass over the finish line in a blink of an eye. This is how it gets done. I'm going to go more about that in a second. But first, let's get some money right now. Let's understand the true situation, which is forced stimulus check is not landing this week. It's not landing last week. And you have bills. You have bills to get paid. Well, I can get those bills paid. And with what? Third stimulus. Third stimulus? Yes. There's a fortune in third stimulus, which became a law earlier this year, that pays your bills. And I'm going to show you right now. So get that pen and paper ready. We're getting some rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, homeowners, utilities, SNAP, and more to get paid for you right now. How much money are we talking about, LA? I'm going to introduce you first to Johnny. He got $80,000 in 5 days. Did I hear you say $8? No, I said $80,000. $80,000? Yes. And then within 5 days thereafter, he turned around and his friends and families got $100,000 on top of that. Okay, my eyes are awake. It's not the coffee. It's not the bacon, because I know that's missing. It's those numbers. Tell me about those numbers. Let's go over all the incredible details right now. Johnny was one of 3 viewers 2 weeks ago who had started the week at zero, hadn't gotten anything. And by the middle of the week, he and 3 other viewers had gotten $40,000 from 3 items: rent, utilities, and food. I'll show you how to get that in a second. But by the end of the weekend, this is 2 weekends ago, Johnny didn't stop. He got 7 items on his own, and he got $80,000. The next week, he turned around and got his friends and family another $100,000. $180,000 in 7 days. This is real. This is you. This is your life. We're going to get this money for you right now. Here's Johnny. He got $12,000 for SNAP. He got $10,000 for EIDL. He got $2,000 for taxes. He got $21,000 for rent, another $26,000 for rent, $9,000 for utilities, and $50 a month for internet and phone, bringing his grand total to $8,000. That was 2 weeks ago, himself. Then he turned around and he spoke to his family members. He said, you need to get this money. His family members, after some convincing, got the money. And what did they get? I've been talking about you to my friends and family, and as of today, I've helped 5 friends save their homes and put money on their table, and 3 family members didn't believe it until they got it. And now 2 family members got $41,500, and the other one got $58,000. $100,000 in 5 extra days. This has been awesome to see people stop stressing about bills. Your channel, LALATE, has helped so many others, and tremendously, you, LALATE, are such a godsend. Purple Power, Purple Hawk. It's your day to get this money. So get that pen paper ready. Here is another one of Frida's faux facts. The volunteers are there on the community page to give me free money because I got trees in the back of the yard with dollar bills on them. The purpose of the community page is after you can't get this money, they can help you get some of the other items. You need to get this money. You This channel has always been about empowering you with information and knowledge so you can get sums of money. So get that pen and paper ready, because this is for you to get. The volunteers are not going to do it for you. You're going to get it for yourself, like Johnny got for himself and his family member got for yourself. We're going to go over rent first. Let's go over the numbers first so we understand the numbers at issue. It's a lot of money. Here are the numbers for rent that viewers got on themselves, not with the community page, themselves, by picking up the phone and getting that money. Let's look at that graphic deliciousness. $27,000 for rent. Countless viewers. Purple Hawk. Are you a Purple Hawk yet? You need to become a Purple Hawk, Purple Power Counseling VIP. The link is under the video. Look at these numbers that people got for rent. They got this themselves. I'm going to show you how to get it for yourself in just a second. Then for utilities, Johnny got $9,000 himself. His numbers are higher because the more that people watch this channel, the more they subscribe, the more they become Purple Hawks and Purple Power Casino VIPs, the higher their numbers are going. And then we see the snap. Wow, you're going to meet the numbers going even higher in just a second on this video. And then we have 3 items. You need to get as many items as you can. And Nancy got 3 items at $32,000. Nancy at $23,000 at 3 items. Incredible, great news. But Mark, there you see Mark on that graphic. I got 2 updates from Mark. The second one's coming up later this week. Here's the first update. Mark got 2 items at $32,000. So for 5 days on camera, I said to Mark, I'll get Snap. He got the Snap himself in less than 5 days. Incredible, great news. Number 2, he told his neighbor about this channel, just like Johnny told his friends about this channel. His friends and family got $100,000. Mark's neighbor got $21,000 of rent in less than 5 days. Incredible, great news. Number 3, Mark realized, I need to get more money than just 3 items. So Mark is getting more than just 3 items. And number 4, Mark got that Snap, getting $19,000, bringing Mark's grand total from Mark picking up the phone himself and calling all these different places. His grand total for Mark is $50,500. Let's see Mark's graphic, if I can find it. It's somewhere in here. Oh, here he is. There you go. $50,500. But the sky's the limit, because look at Lorraine. On her own accord, with her and her pen and her telephone, she got $105,000, because this is what we do. This is LALATE. I've been showing people how to get big sums of money on this channel since day one. In April of last year, people had applied for that EIDL grant and loan and were locked up. Their applications not getting approved. So one after another, I showed them on camera how to get their applications approved. Getting $25 million of EIDL loans approved in just a few months, saving their homes, their businesses, and their employees' homes. 3 days later, the PUA application was going live. No one understood what it was at first. Very confusing application. So I answered people's questions on air and showed them how to get their applications approved, and they got them approved. Like Island Bellenkamp out of Florida, $15,000. But then in 2020, December, holidays, you needed money. There was no second stimulus. So I stepped forward and I showed viewers how to get $250,000 of rent, like Tyrone and his family 4 out of Boston, getting $15,000 for rent, paying all their rent for the new year. Tyrone picked up the phone. He picked up the phone at the time in which Boston was hard to get the money. He killed it, $15,000. And now is your opportunity as well. So get that pen and paper ready. You are going to get this money. You're not going to reach out to the volunteer and say, hi, I'm lazy. Go get the money for you. You're a slave. Let me crack the whip. No, no, no. You're going to pick up the money and get the phone. You're going to pick up the phone and get the money right now. You're going to get all this money right now. We're going to get some rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and homeowners utilities right now. And if you can give me some bacon, that would be appreciated. All right, here we go. Here's some introductory remarks. First, we're going to show you 6 places to reach out to. So make sure you reach out to all 6. I had one viewer overnight send me a message say I reached out to 1 and I couldn't get them on the phone. It didn't answer. So can the volunteers just do it all for me? No. You pick up the phone and call all 6. And you keep on calling until you get them on the phone. Or you go to their websites. Or you go down and meet them face to face. Number 2. Each place has different eligibility, so if one says no, reach out to the next. They also have their own pot of money. Then listen to the keywords I say in this video. It helps get people approved. And finally, understand that every state has money. Every state was given the same amount of money from the federal government. Are you ready? Here we go. You're going to reach out to the following 6 places. Write this down. If I go too fast, you can always replay the video. Your city hall, your city housing authority. Your county hall, your county housing authority. Your state hall, and your state housing authority. Those 6 places, all 6, you are going to reach out to. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. You got this. And you're not going to say words they don't know, like stimulus or Mitchatini. because they're like, what? And congratulations, Tim and Linda, who got this wonderful pot of money for rent and utilities. If you got this money as well, post in the live chat right now. The next money you can get, it's a SNAP. And guess what it is called? It's SNAP. You can get this. This is from Department of Agriculture. Eligibility is easier than stimulus check. If you got a stimulus check, why aren't you getting SNAP? How much does it pay? A fortune. Mark, you saw earlier in this video, got $19,000. Well, guess what? He's sitting on $25,000. What happened? 2 weeks ago, Department of Agriculture made the announcement that everyone's benefits lifetime automatically nationwide are going up an average of 25%. Incredible, great news. Lynn Glenn got it for herself, her son, and her mom. Gail got it as well. A nice viewer on our new hit show, Morning's Countdown, which aired earlier today, said she went from $15 a month to $350 automatically. Congratulations to her. If you got this money for SNAP, post in the live chat right now. The next part of the money is the refund check coming back from the state due to overpayment on employment benefits and a computer error. And guess what? The federal government has ordered this return back to you. One viewer got $3,000, another viewer got $5,000. Those states have now been ordered to upgrade the computer systems from Windows 10. Not Windows 10, Windows 1910. The version when, the screen was made out of stone and bricks. And can we top that? Yes, as we go into the refund check finally coming back from IRS on that taxes you paid on that 2020 unemployment benefits. Margaret got it, Michael got it. It's deliciousness. The average payment is about $1,200 to $2,000 in the mail or direct deposit. But first, here's a personal message from me to you. This channel was launched for me to help you and for you to help others. The spirit of this channel is love, helpfulness, kindness, community. So if you're in the live chat, post your success story for rent, utilities, and food you got. Because when you do, you inspire so many people. Just like that viewer who went from $15 to $300. Just incredible, inspirational story. People need the encouragement to pick up the phone. The volunteers, the community page is not there to be your indentured slaves. You do not say, I'm lazy, I want you to do all the work for me. Volunteers are now reporting that over 100% of people reaching out to them have never picked up the phone and called any of the 6 places. That's not acceptable. You need to pick up the phone. Call. You picked up the phone to call for a water main break or electric outage or telephone bad reception. You can do this. I know you can. City Hall, City Housing Authority. County Hall, County Housing Authority. State Hall, State Housing Authority. If you're on the live chat, post a success story. You inspire other people. This is a lot of money. This is money you can get right now. So do it. And let's go back to those unemployment benefits. Margaret got it, Kyle got it, Michael got it. Where's the landing? Direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. Can you track it? Yeah, go to irs.gov and do a transcript search. And it'll reveal the tax return you filed and the taxes you paid and the refund check you're getting. It'll also reveal stuff you never want to see ever again, like Nancy's hair color style. And there you go. Can we top that? Yes, as we go into the second part of this video, starting right now. Deal done, signed, sealed. A forced stimulus recon is a done deal. What happened? Well, the Democrats have agreed that there's going to be a recon, $3.5 trillion, and that the price and that it's all going to be checks for the American people. While previous stimulus packages have been mostly for corporations and very small. Done deal, signed, sealed. Now, how did we get to this wonderful spot? And where are we? What you need to know is that the Democrats have been working tooth and nail around the clock and are in town on the next stop, which is recon substantive. I'm going to go over that in 1 second. But how did we get to this spot? Let's back it up a little bit to understand where we got to the spot. Initially, the recon had roads and bridges in there, and that was not passable. But by taking the roads and bridges out, it made it passable. Let's go over what happened. Basically, initially, the recon was too big. And a conservative publication confirms my reporting. The higher the price tag was on the recon originally, the harder it was to pass. But by allowing the Democrats to take out the spending of the roads and bridges from the recon and put in the bipartisan, the overall price tag got smaller. In other words, the bipartisan deal made the recon passable. Here's what you need to know about how Democrats legislate with Democrats. Recon, it's just Democrats with Democrats. No Republicans needed. They go to meet each other. They go down their hall. They talk to their buddy, their friend, have coffee, go to lunch, say, what do you think about this? Eventually, they come to a verbal agreement. That's when they're ostensibly done. That's when they're done, when they have the verbal agreement. Because guess what? When they write it up, they're just writing up in bill format what they've already verbally agreed upon. And then when we call for a vote, it's a done deal because they already know everyone's agreed upon it because they already had the verbal agreement. So when they did the recon procedural, which passed about 2 weeks ago, they had already had that verbal agreement in the month of June and July. They had met Democrats, senators, House members, and the president saying, you agree to a recon $3.5 trillion? I do. And when they call the vote, very simple. That's why Representative Elon Omar and Representative Richie Torres had said before that agreement, we need a big recon. We need a recon that goes as big as balls we want it. And that's why the president had told everyone after they agreed upon the price tag, protect my recon, because everything in there is progressive checks for the American people, progressive priorities, which are the White House's priorities. So understand, as I started earlier in this video with fake fact Frida, or freedom Frida, that the statement, the fake conservative statement that Democrats aren't doing anything, they're out of town, they're not calling a vote into 100% wacko untrue. That they are in town, they're meeting 4 to 5 times a day, says Bernie, Chuck, Ron Wyden, Ron Clayin, and others going over the deal provisions right now. This is the window of opportunity, Purple Power, for you to push. They're going over the deal provisions that become the recon substantive. The toe hitch is just inches away from that finish line. Let's go over what a recon is versus a bipartisan starting right now. They're very different bodies of law. We have 2 items. Recon, your money. Reconciliation is also called, or budget bill, or Democratic Social Reform Plan. Price tag $3.5 trillion. Bipartisan, not your money. Roads and bridges, also called infrastructure. Well, recon procedural has passed. So now we're on recon substantive, and they're having those oral meetings to reach oral agreements last week and this week, and we're just inches away from that finish line. Let's go over the difference between recon procedural and recon substantive. Look at the keyword committees. I'm coming back to that in the final 15 minutes of the video. Price tag $3.5 trillion agreed to, and the money is split among committees number 1, 2, and 3. Done. So then now that the committees are given the money, how are they spending the money? That's what they're doing right now. This is the toe hitch. This is right in front of us. This is the finish line. They're going over the provisions of what is to the terms and conditions of that recon substantive right now. Do not look out at what day a vote is, what day a bill is drafted. Don't look at that. Look at what's going on right now. This is their window of opportunity. This is where you push. How do we get to this wonderful spot? From Jalapal, who recently wrote Schumer a letter saying, check all the vote on the recon. And that letter was signed by 12 House Democrats, part of 100 plus, who recently wrote the president a letter saying, we're putting monthly forced stimulus checks in that forced stimulus recon. Here comes freedom of speech, Frida. Faux fact again. What does she say? No one's talking about stimulus check. Well, you and the conservative media and the GOP are not giving you a stimulus check. And what do they want you to say? That no one's talking about it. Untrue. There is not a single Democrat who's not talking about the stimulus check. It's being talked about left and right. Whether it's AOC and Omar, or whether it is the House Ways and Means Committee, it is literally the talk of discussion left and right. The House bill signed by hundreds of Democrats, AOC and Omar, and of course Warren, Sanders, Wyden, and also those other ones as well. And finally, the global minimum corporate tax rate, done deal, out of the recon. Great news, because it makes the recon easier to write, easier to call the vote on, and easier to pass. And can we top that? Yes. As we go into the final 15 minutes of this video, you hear the breaking news about Janet Yellen's comments this morning about this entire month. And yes, I know, calendar calling. It's September. That's sort of ironically what Janet Yellen said, but I have breaking news statements as well. And we'll compare that against Ron Clayton's comments, President's Chief of Staff, from the weekend. Then we'll be going into the world exclusive about those MSCs. All incredible, great news. You're going to be very, very excited. And we have new details you're hearing for the first time on this morning's LA broadcast. But first, if you have not gotten these sums of money from third stimulus, you need to do it right now. Pick up the pen and paper. Get these money. Utility companies, phone companies, water, gas, electric, heating, oil. Pick up the phone, call, and get this money. Rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage assistance because of COVID, utility assistance because of COVID. Reach out to all 6 places. After the 6 places, if you've reached out to them and then you've gotten 1 or 2 and you can't get the remainder of them and you're having problems and you tried, then reach out to the volunteers. Remember, do not reach out to the volunteers if you haven't made the effort. If you haven't made the effort, and I mean you went to all 6 places, then do not reach out to the volunteers, because some volunteers are reporting that 100% of all people reaching out to them have never made 1 ounce of an effort to reach out and get the money themselves. No bueno. Don't do that. Here's a little bit about the community page. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds as we go into the final 15 minutes with exciting, great news on Mornings LALATE. Here is a little bit about those volunteers. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now live from Santa Monica, California, where the weather is beautiful today. Where are you tuning in from? Tell me in the live chat where you're tuning in from and how the weather is. In the second half of this video, we'll be going over that monthly stimulus check and why the Democrats want you to have it. Then we'll be cutting to the world exclusive and the number one guy in D.C. and what he is proposing for those MSCs. We'll be cutting to fifth stimulus quickly, and then we'll be cutting to the breaking news as Janet Yellen spoke out about this whole month of September. Yes, I know, Colleen, it's September. It's September. And we'll have those details and more, but she's counting out those days. There she goes. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video to 30,000 likes and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Coming up next is Mornings Crypto, live on air at 10 a.m. Then we go into noontime at 11 a.m. And with that, so many details hitting across the board. Don't forget to sign up for those LA alerts, totally free. The link is in the video. Let's cut to fifth stimulus briefly, which heats up right now. You know, no matter how many times I say it, there's always someone who jumps in the comments and says, why is he talking about fifth stimulus? We're not done with fourth stimulus. Because fifth stimulus is not really about a stimulus check. It's about that SSI and SSID reform. Yes, this is very exciting details. And it starts in September. Trying to get out the door by a vote in November. Step 1, raise your benefits limits up. Then remove the asset limit. Add an inflationary benchmark, remove the income exclusion, and remove the marriage penalty. How does this work? Step 1, they're going to raise your benefits up a lifetime. This is you if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, Veterans benefits, SSA. Then they're going to apply a new benchmark. That new benchmark is inflation. The central banks of Europe, of the EU, are meeting this week to deal with transitory issues. The spike of inflation in December, and they're worried about tapering. So they're all dealing with this issue. That's because inflation is going really high later this year. Let's do the analysis. First, they'll raise your benefits up a lifetime, and then they'll apply a new benchmark. That new benchmark is inflation. And that means if it's 5%, you'll go up another 5%. Not just next year, lifetime. Because once your benefits go up, they never go down. They're going to move the income cap, dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. It's going to go away. Remove the asset cap, dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't have more than $3,000 on hand. It's going to go away. And finally, the marriage penalty is going to end. And love is going to win, and you'll be able to marry your longtime love interest and do a pair dance. And no longer fear a loss of benefits. Just fear a loss of dance moves on the dance floor. That's the only thing to fear. And can we top that? Yes. Will the Democrats be giving you a fifth stimulus check? They represent. There will be one next year. Finally, if you're in the live chat and you've not become a Purple Hawk, what are you doing? Become a Purple Hawk today. Purple Hawks were launched by this channel by me in January of this year because I delivered daily to you a breakdown of all the big money. All the big money available under first, second, and third stimulus. So you, like Johnny, can get $80,000, or Mark $55,000, or Lorraine $100,000. This is real money that you can get right now. There's a lot of money under the third stimulus package, and this money pays right now. Not 5 weeks from now, not 5 months from now. Consider becoming a Purple Hawk. The link is under the video. And daily, I deliver all that information to you. It's important to get that money because it's available right now. And with that, we go into the final 15 minutes of this video with the big details, world exclusive, the breaking news from Janet Yellen, and more. It's happening right now. Let's go over Janet Yellen's comments first. Janet Yellen, the Treasury Secretary to Joe Biden, sent a letter to Capitol Hill today talking about the concern of the debt limit expiration in just a few weeks in September. Is that our bill? No, it's not your bill. What's important to understand is that there is a lot of legislation to be done in September. And one of the number one things I've learned from this channel over the last year is when there's a lot of bills at the same time, they get confusing. You look at it and say, is that my bill? Is that my bill? It's sort of like the luggage claim at the airport. Is that my bag? Is that my bag? You don't know which one is yours. So that's number one. Number two, it mirrors what Ron Wyden said last week. He said there's a lot of legislation to do in September. Does not mean our legislation is being put in the back burner. No, in fact, Ron Wyden, Ron Clay, and Bernie and Chuck all said last week that they're working around the clock on the recon substantive because they got so much other stuff to do that's coming up in September as well. So there you go. Let's talk about Ron Clay, Chief of Staff to the President. He said, well, the recon procedural's done. Well, recon substantive, we're just going over the deal terms. Absolutely true. So let's go over where we are. Recon, it will be done. $3.5 trillion price tag, and the money's been given to the committees. That is what recon procedural determined 2 weeks ago. Tow truck is passed over the finish line. The tow hitch, the recon substantive, already under works. The finality of the tow hitch is just blinks of an eye away because guess what? They're negotiating these terms right now. Don't look for the bill. Don't look for the vote. Look for now because when they're negotiating and getting oral agreements, that is the tow truck passing over, the tow hitch going over the finish line. Because once that's done, all they're doing is confirming that in writing for a bill vote and calling it for vote. This is where you push Purple Power. Now, the vast majority of the money in that recon, for stimulus recon, is application-based. Let's go over that before we go to IRS-sent stimulus checks. These application-based stimulus check items are deliciousness. There are lots of checks for all different walks of life, and let's go over some of the examples of them. Free school meals for all checks, cheaper prescription medication checks, checks for farmers, checks for free internet, checks for workers like checks for independent contractors, checks for dental, checks for vision, checks for hearing care, checks for seniors, checks for lowering eligibility age. Now, earlier in this video, I said, watch that graphic where I talked about the committees. The committees have this money. IRS Treasury knows nothing about your teeth. They know nothing about your vision or your hearing. They can't send you out money about it because they don't know about it. And there's no way for you to tell IRS about your teeth or your vision. Where is this money going to be? In committees. And you're going to do so well under fourth stimulus because since first stimulus, you've been picking up the phone and getting these sums of money, picking up the phone saying, hey, I deserve this money. Give me this money. I had a wonderful comment from someone on Twitter this morning saying, I'm ready for that dental. Tell me where I get it. I'm ready to pick up the phone and ask for it. I love this. I've been waiting for this for a very long time. That is true Purple Power spirit. Now let's cut to the MSCs, monthly stimulus checks. Democrats have always been talking about these MSCs. They've been talking about it left and right for many, many weeks. But back about 4 weeks ago, I told viewers of this channel to pick up the phone and contact your Democratic senators and tell them of the need for a stimulus check. Notice the phrasing of how I say that, the need. That means you pick up the phone and say, I want to tell you about why I think we should have a monthly stimulus check. That is the conversation you should have. Not, can you tell me what day it's landing in my bank account? Yeah, that's not what we do on this channel. That is Wendy and Will Wen from Wensville, Missouri. When? What day is it landing? When? No, you don't have that conversation. And you don't have the conversation that Calendar Cod does, which is whatever happened to July, whatever happened to August. No, that's not what we do here. That's not what we do. What we do is we say, we need this. I need this. The community, the country needs this. We need a monthly stimulus check. And viewers started making those phone calls a few weeks ago, about 4 weeks ago. One viewer, WR, made the phone call to Senator Chris Coons, Democrat, Delaware, Joe Biden's oldest confidant. Conversation, professional, respectful, and kind. Said, I want to talk to you about the importance of a monthly stimulus check. Senator Chris Coons, a staffer, said, yes. Senator Chris Coons is already proposing one under the fourth stimulus recon. There you go. There you go. Now, along the way, the broadcast media, they never picked up the phone and went to the source like Chris Coons' office and asked, are you doing a monthly stimulus check? No. Rather, they're focused on, is Chloe and Courtney wearing the same eyeshadow? They never really went into depth of this coverage. They didn't ask anyone. You go to the source and ask them, are you doing a stimulus check? Now, when we talk about the recon, the actual bill is called the Fourth Stimulus Reconciliation Budget Bill. What committee in the Senate oversees the budget bill? The budget committee. Yeah, just sort of obvious. The budget committee does the budget bill. And who's head of the budget committee? The budget chairman. Oh yeah, the budget chairman on the budget bill on the budget committee. I got it. This is so easy. And then who's the budget chairman? What's his name? Bernie Budget Sanders. Oh yeah, with the budget committee and the budget bill and the budget. Okay, I got this. So 2 weeks ago, Bernie Sanders actually said, I'm a little bit different than prior budget chairman. I'm a little different than prior budget chairman who sort of did everything in D.C. I like to get out amongst the people. I said to viewers at the time, which was 2 weeks ago, that translates as he wants to hear from you about what you think should be in that budget bill. That was 2 weeks ago. And not a lot of you initially called. I said for you to call and say, push Purple Power and push for advocacy for what you think belongs in there. Glenn called. And Brother Joshua, who's in the live chat, community volunteer from 2020, longtime viewer, wonderful viewer, picked up the phone and called and said, I want to talk to you about stimulus checks. Professional, respectful, kind, and polite. And immediately the staffer said, yes, Senator Bernie Sanders is proposing a monthly stimulus check. World exclusive. There you go. Had the broadcast media picked up the phone and asked Bernie Sanders after he said, sort of contact me, I want to hear about this? No, they never did. They never did. What are they relying their sources upon? The search engines. Yeah, it's not a very good search, not a really good source for an article. And the Brother Joshua continued the conversation. It's so simple for a number 1, 2, or 3 broadcast channel that has 100 affiliate stations in 20 markets, 200 markets to pick up the phone and ask your legislator, are you doing anything for a monthly stimulus check? They don't ask. And so they run stories and say, we never asked, so we never heard about it. It sounds like Freedom Frida, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. So Brother Joshua continued the conversation. And the staffer said to Brother Joshua, yeah, Bernie Sanders is proposing a range of an amount. The range of the amount for the check is about $1,000 to $1,400. Great news. Wonderful news. Monthly, yes, great news. Range, approximately 3 to 6 months. Great news. Oh, this is wonderful. Was there a catch? Yes. Senator Bernie Sanders says he needs to hear American supporters behind him before he proposes this. We got this, Purple Power. We got this. We did this in 2020. In fact, it was a reverse. In 2020, we always said, who has our back? Now they want to have our back. They want us to have his back. We got this. We've been doing this since fall of 2020. Well, we've been doing this since spring of 2020. People always wonder, where did Purple Power come from? I was wearing a purple shirt outside, and people said, Mr. Purple. They referred to me as Mr. Purple. And I said, well, you have the purple power. You can go get that EIDL approved. You have the power. You have the purple power. But then when the HEROES Act was not becoming a hero, wasn't getting approved, months went on, a second stimulus check was not coming. So I said, we need to push. We need to push purple power. And that's what became economic social advocacy for stimulus. And we had a lot of historic moments. The most notable one among them was when I came up with the idea of a stimulus check and a continuing resolution. They thought I was insane and bonkers. Doesn't belong in there. I know it doesn't belong in there. I said, I know it doesn't belong in there. Put it in there because you're not getting the second stimulus check done. Get this done in there. And we pushed, and you pushed. Purple Power pushed. Seats for stimulus. And initially they said, no. Then they said, okay, I'll give you unemployment stimulus. We said, no, stimulus check. And then we pushed again, and we got it. And that became your second stimulus. And there you go. So you need to pick up the phone and say, hey, I support you. I support you, Senator Chris Coons. I support you, Ron Wyden, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, AOC, Omar. I support you. We need a monthly stimulus check. We need it for several months. We need that stimulus check in there. That's a true push, true spirit of the Purple Power. Now, guess what? Across the land, there is always something I have to deal with. Imagine there's always something I have to deal with. And guess what I have to deal with now? And I'm glad he's on the live chat. There is actually an inherent type of movement by a certain fraction, I know you know who they are, that wants to basically say that everything Brother Joshua said was untrue. Excuse me? They want to say that Bernie Sanders doesn't want to give you anything. He doesn't want to give you anything. I checked, and he doesn't want to give anything. He only wants to give children's checks and checks for corporations and checks for orchids and plants and checks for, yeah, he doesn't want to give you anything. And they're not even going to do a recount. He changed his mind. And I called him up and he said, you know what? We're putting the money to tofu and soybeans. Excuse me? And some people actually buy this type of stuff. They actually believe this type of stuff. So who are these? Well, it's fake Frida's friends. It's Frida. You know, she's back. We're faux facts. And she wants you to believe that Bernie Sanders doesn't care a hoot about anyone. Yeah. You try really hard, Frida, but it ain't gonna work here. So I needed to preempt you about that. And I started to tell people about it last night. Yeah, so try harder. Try harder, Frida. Not gonna work here. Frida's next pursuit is to tell you that Mitch McConnell invented Christmas. Yeah, and Kevin McCarthy invented Easter as well. So, there's so much fake facts out there. Meantime, here is what you need to know, is that this is the week, this is the month, this is the moment in which they're having those verbal agreements. You do not see the verbal agreements. There's no way to see a verbal agreement. It means the senator's going down the hall, talking to his colleague, going to lunch, having a cup of coffee, picking up the phone. As Bernie and Chuck says, they're talking 5 times a day. You don't see those conversations. I know that people like to sort of see everything in front of them, but you can't see it. They're having those verbal agreements, having those verbal chats to get a verbal agreement on what is in that recon substantive. This is your window of opportunity, Purple Power. This is now. This is here. Not a time or place to say, let me wait to see the bill, let me wait to see the vote. No, by then the tow hitch has passed over the finish line, and either it has everything in there exactly or not exactly. It's too late to be looking at the tow hitch after it passes over the finish line. You want to look at the tow hitch before it passes the finish line and make sure everything is exactly the way it needs to be. And with that, what's going to be exactly the way it's going to be? Solana's going to be $1,000 in the next 5 minutes. And we're going to check it on Solana and everything else on Mornings Crypto in just a few minutes. It's at 11 a.m. So join me on Mornings Crypto, 10 a.m., which heats up in just a few minutes from now. And then we go into the incredible noontime LALATE at 11 a.m. Thank you for joining me on our new show, which I guess is a big hit. It's called Mornings Countdown LALATE. It appears every day between early mornings LALATE at 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. It appears at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So join it tomorrow as well. And with that, so much happening across the board. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now and bring some bacon tomorrow. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. The coffee was brewing, the toast was toasting, the butter was buttering. I was here, you was here, and guess what? Tomorrow there'll be some bacon? I hope so. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.